in a quiet town.
Maxwell dives TA for the triple kill. Make his way out.
At Worlds, every time you make a move or you overstay on the map, an enemy mid laner will take advantage of that.
A double kill for Drown as he says, "King me."
我想观众大家都很期待，就是中路会有单杀的画面出现，因为基本上中路要单杀其实没有那么简单。像以前那个飞哥跟软优的对决，就是也让大家印象深刻，所以观众我觉得大家都很想看他就是单杀的画面。
卢山过来又要偏，现在一直在找机会，社交直连进化平台有用吗？没用啊，要单杀了，一波漂亮的单杀。
아직까지는 다른 미드라이너를 볼 때 저보다 잘한다고 느낀 선수가 없거든요.
SKT, legends for a reason, find their win.
SKT are the best team to ever play League of Legends, and that man has been there for all of it.
Welcome everyone to Wuhan, China, host of the 2017 World's Group Stage. We've seen all of the teams in action, and with our competitors fighting to get an edge in their group, we've got an explosive day ahead of us. Here, of course, you see the crowd that has packed the arena here to cheer on their favorite teams. No shortage of support for the LPL teams as they are in their home country. TSM, though, making their way into the arena. Moments ago, they're up against Team WE, looking for control of their group. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson here with Indiana Frosker in black, Alberto Crumbs Rengifo, and Sam Kobe Hartman Kensler. Halfway through week one, we're moving into another 6 big games today.
Samsung, Galaxy, TSM, and Cloud9 all on the roster.
LPL is playing up against North America twice, which it has been the rivalry as to who can be the second best team.
Now we've got a number of games that'll determine control of the group, put us, or rather give us a front runner in each of those groups. We'll see how those games shake out shortly. Let's check in with some of our international broadcast partners in the arena. We've got, of course, the Chinese broadcast team joining us and our friends from Brazil's CBLOL helping to bring this event to all of the corners of the globe. Thank you very much, guys. A truly international event. Now, yesterday we saw SKT pull off a historic comeback to take the lead in Group A, while the LCK champions Longzhu are looking like the strongest team in Group B. We also got a look at the teams in Group D with TSM and Team WE securing themselves a win to kick off the group stage. We'll see which of them will take control of that group as they face off in our first game, followed by Flash Wolves versus Misfits Gaming. Later, we've got a fight between the Titans, Samsung Galaxy, and RNG before the teams in Group A close out the day. Now, it all looked lost for the reigning champions in SKT yesterday. They found themselves in a 9K goal deficit at 25 minutes versus the hometown favorites in EDG, and the Korean powerhouse somehow managed to recover, pulling off one of the greatest upsets in World's history.
But you wouldn't imagine it. Like you said, that 9K goal lead was built off of multiple tower dives. EDG just running through SKT. Clearlove on his famous Rek'Sai right there. Everything looked great. Please, just cut the tape right here.
Now, what we've learned about SKT is that they're basically Terminator 2. You need to try really hard.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that.
They've got to spare Frosker in a little bit.
That's literally the best engage of the entire tournament so far. The best
Not
play
safe
of the whole
for
tournament.
broadcast, Kobe.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, we've already seen that play many a times. We'll see it many times more, I'm sure. A world's big play, to say the least. In the last 2 days, we've seen all of our teams in action, though. So I want to ask you guys, what stood out so far? Top performers, underperformers, what are we looking at?
Well, for me, the fact that the meta came into it as full-on Ardent Sensor and we thought it was going to be all about protect the AD carry was a little bit underwhelming, but then everybody decided, let's add some variance to this. We can have early game still happening. Not everybody has picked tanks. Mid lane action has been all over the place, and that's exciting to me. So we get the bottom lane that's still the same, but everything else is all over.
And the question will be, will anyone really be able to truly break the meta, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. We've seen Longzhu kind of test around with it, but because there's been such little variance, and it still is about these late game, big, massive of team fights. The team that I'm really looking at is Samsung Galaxy, and specifically their Crown piece, or their Jewel in Crown. Now, we didn't know what type of form Crown was going to come into. He had slumped in the summer, but coming out on his Talia, he was explosive, he looked crisp, he looked clean, and now Samsung Galaxy look like favorites if the meta persists through this tournament to play that style all the way to the end.
Exactly. This team loves the control, loves taking that one team fight, win the game from the get-go, and they are one of the best late-game teams in Korea. And if the meta persists, as Frost was saying, then I have them pretty high up there compared to the two Korean teams that have already shown some faults.
That's why I'm so excited for their matchup today versus RNG. You put the spotlight on Crown, and people will bring up, oh yeah, it wasn't the best season for him. Xiaohu, the one who's going to face off against him in the mid lane, had an amazing season, and RNG looked good in their first game.
All right, now we talk about some players that are performing here so far at the tournament. Let's talk about maybe some underperformers or some surprises maybe. The EU LCS, currently 0-5 through the group stages, still looking to find a win.
Now, I'm going to, ignore the LCK and the NA. I'm going to give it a little bit of EU rep. Yes, it is 0-5, but that doesn't really tell the story of how competitive these teams have been, particularly Fnatic versus Immortals. That was such a close series. Immortals have played very well, and Fnatic were right there with them. So tough stuff. Wow.
Woo.
Tough tart.
Yeah, I can't even speak.
It's all right.
Go
tough
EU.
start. Yeah, there you go. Go EU. We're looking for some competitive matches out of them today.
I would say, yeah, a lot of EU fans can put more hope in G2 as well if they were going to, pick a champion right now, because G2, they had to play Samsung. You were just talking about, the pros of Samsung and how good they've been looking. So G2 probably are going to have an easier day today. And I think that they will pick up a win.
No matter what, we can't jump to crazy conclusions. Remember last year, NA went 0-10 in the second half of group stages. So whoever does well here will still have to play very expertly.
Nothing's decided as of yet. Still plenty to be determined. Our first game of the day features the top teams in Group D, TSM and Team WE, fighting for that control. Who do you guys think is going to take the victory here? Frost, starting with you.
Okay, I'm going to say Team WE, but the reason being is that it is the late game meta. And yes, I think TSM are stronger in the early and mid game, and likewise against Flash Wolves, they've shown that they can 5v5 at 40 minutes with the best of them, but now they're going to have to actually face the best. Mystic took down the OG Uzi, now he needs to take down the NA Uzi.
Alrighty, Crumbs, what are you thinking?
I'm going with Team WE as well, but for other reasons, because when we saw TSM play, when we saw TSM play, Sven Skaren was not good. In fact, quite bad. And you have Kondi, arguably the best jungler in the tournament. I think he's just gonna roll him over. And Team WE looked like they know how to execute. And against TSM, the team that has been a little bit scary.
What?
Yeah, Team WE.
Just say what you need to say, Crumbs, so I can move on to
Kobe. Said anything.
You guys are just looking at me like I just sinned.
You're like second-guessing your own points over there. Kobe, what are you thinking?
I am definitely going to go with TSM here. They keep bringing up, oh, yeah, TSM better in the early game. TSM have been focusing all year long on the late game. They're extremely confident in it. And people talking about the Ardent Sensor meta right now, that's really just the bottom lane, right? That's an AD carry plus a support who's going to have a shield with some, extra attack speed going there. But when that comes to Rise, the engagement becomes even more important. Hauntzer is in rare form right now. He had an amazing first game, and TSM, I think, are going to take this.
Absolutely great form out of Hauntzer yesterday, but Sven Skaren, a weak point, as you mentioned, Crumbs. We'll see if he can shore up some of that play individually. We've already seen some solid performances so far, but we want to know what your big plays are. So hit us up at LOL Esports with your favorites, and we'll highlight them at the end of the week. That will do it for us here, though. Time to send it over to Riv, Vedius, and Azael, who are standing by for the call. And as we go, Doublelift gives us some thoughts on TSM's group opponents.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of WE at all. I think Mystic is really highly praised, but definitely think I'm a lot better than him. And at MSI, TSM split games with WE, so that's kind of why I feel good that they split games with WE and Flash Wolves, and now I'm on the team, and I think we're a lot better. So, yeah, I guess we'll see if I can back it up.
A little bit more